So apparently, Jared Anderson wants smoke with Deontay Wilder. Well, here's my thoughts.
Push the weight in no flex. Flex alive is one in the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga, boo. I'm an 88 pack nigga, boo. I mean, day walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I wanted to let this marinate for a couple of days before I spoke on it. So, Jared Big Baby Anderson. I'm reading this article. He says I'm going to beat him in great fashion. This is what he says. It says here in this article, if you care to read this on Boxing Scene, you go look for it. I'll put the link in the description. Maybe not. Says his future's looking bright. Heavyweight phenom if it says right here, first sentence, second sentence, if the heavyweight phenom can stay committed and dedicated to boxing, and if he can stay out of trouble, boom, right there. I'm not going to go any further with the article. All right, because now they're questioning whether his out of ring activity will affect his in the ring activity. What we've heard about Jared Big Baby Anderson is that he's a big baby. Now I know where they got the name from. It's more than just a tag. It's him. Drew, what do you mean? Well, couple of things. When I first saw him, I said, okay, he's a big, strong kid. Maybe he still live with his mama, and they just, maybe he's just soft spoken. He's walking to the ring with this fancy getup, and I'm like, okay, they're marketing this kid. This is one of Jay Prince's guys. All right, cool. Right. Then I'm watching ESPN one day, and they're covering him and doing a good job with the media, and I notice he has this dog with him, and I'm like, what's this dog about? Is that his pet? Don't you know that's a security animal? Like, really, people have security animals. Children have security blankets, security stuffed pets, animals, and whatever. This grown man, this 24-year-old man, has a security animal. And I said, that's really like only people with mental situations have security animals. But okay, fine. All right. And if you read the article, I'll put the link in the description. They said those are some big ifs for the 24-year-old. Then, I think 2 years ago now, he basically did an interview stating that he wants to get out the game before he's 30 or something like that. Before 30? Hold on a minute. The landscape of the heavyweight division is vast. There's a lot of talent here. And there's a lot of up-and-coming talent. Do I, as an American, trust Jared Big Baby Anderson to carry the mantle as heavyweight champion? Does he want to be undisputed champion? Is he willing to put in the work? So you got a guy that wants to get out the game before 30, which is no time for him to do. He's 24 now. He just turned 24. More on that in a second. And he wants to get out the game. I could have swore he said 28, which is before 30. So I'm like, wait a minute. What does he plan on doing in the next 4 years? With business being what it is. You might have to wait to get certain opportunities. Calling out Deontay Wilder, that's a good flex, but does anybody trust him to do anything? And here's why I asked you that. Okay, just last year, in this picture, you see with our good brother, friend to the Strong House, Prince Charles Martin, who took this fight on about 2 weeks' notice. And Jared won the fight, but I believe in round 10 or 11, I forget. Charles Martin started to put this kid on the back foot, and he looked horrible. Now, you've heard all of the sparring stories and everything else. Look, there's a lot of guys that look phenomenal in sparring. But then when they get their professional opportunity, sometimes they just fold. I don't know what that's about. I have no idea. Now, why am I saying that? This guy we heard was knocking Tyson Fury around in sparring. We heard that he was the reason why Fury had to postpone the fight. Wilder Fury 3, they had to postpone it from July to October. Y'all remember that? And then when we asked Big Baby, is there any truth to that? He started playing word games on Twitter. And it just got annoying when I was reading the screenshots that people were sending out. And I'm like, man, you know what? Just leave the kid alone. Y'all remember that? Fury had to close his camp because of COVID. He's on his way back to Ohio. We're like, yo, man, you got COVID? He said, huh? Joseph Parker, you got COVID? Huh? And y'all know the story. They closed it because of COVID. They said everyone in the camp had COVID, but Parker was at the UFC event, no COVID. He said, what? First time I'm hearing it. And they just asked Jared, do you have COVID? He said, no. What is this? Well, we heard, the other story was you was beating Fury's behind in sparring. Is that true? He was giving these weird bugged out responses. So I said, man, just leave the kid alone, man. It's sparring. If he was kicking his behind, he ain't going to say it out loud. But what my point is, when Charles Martin started to put punches together and put him on the back foot, he looked confused. And I knew then from that round, I said, you know what? He couldn't get Charles Martin out of there off of a 2-week training camp. If Charles Martin had an 8-week training camp, I think he'd have beat I almost call him Miller. That's the other Big Baby. I think he'd have beat Anderson easily. I think he'd have beat him easily. I texted Charles after that. I said, man, if you had a full camp, I don't even think we could call this an upset because, to be honest, I don't think Jared is that good. Why? I can't gauge him. Everyone he's been in the ring with, he was supposed to beat. He beat Charles Martin, but he didn't really dominate him. You saw the experience come in late in the fight. So now, you want to call out Deontay Wilder. Well, you know what? That's good. You're supposed to do that. I've been asking for this kid to step in the competition for the last 2 years now. So now I think he's ready. So here's what I'd like to see. If you don't get Deontay Wilder, you know, it's cool to pick on Deontay right now. That's dope. That's dope. I hope you get what you asked for, because I think he launches your head into the rafters. You think you're picking on him. Don't think just because I said picking on him means that, you know, people trying to bully him. You can't bully Deontay. He's looking like food right now, but he's looking like food in Anthony Joshua don't want to eat right now. That's a whole nother conversation. But if you think it's easy work, Jared, hey, man, reach out. See what happens. You might get what you're asking for, but don't cry when you get what you're asking for. And I mean, don't cry, because you beat Charles Martin, and then they put the camera on you in the back, and you lay on your mama's bosom. And I say, really, this kid, there's really something wrong with this kid. And then prior to that, I'm watching him during the Roy Jones interview, and that just like really messed me up. I was like, wait a minute, what he's talking in third person to Roy Jones. And I know Roy was so uncomfortable. Like, wow, I didn't know this was going to turn into a therapy session. What if Jared didn't ask for all of this? Well, you're talented, and you said you can handle this, and, you know, we're different. Didn't you say we're different? But I'm 23. Remember that? And I said, oh, no. I don't trust this kid to carry no belts. I'm not going to put my stock into him supporting an American fighter, and he's crying in the ring to Roy Jones. But I'm 23, turns right around, gets arrested, right? Then that went away, and he got arrested again, this time leading the cops on a high-speed chase. So I'm like, uh-oh, what is he doing? What's going on? What's happening? You see this picture right here? This is when Frank started putting the paws on him. And I think in between rounds, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, yo, Frank, come on, man. Don't mess up the money now. All right. I said, Frank, I meant Charles. My bad, y'all. Frank Martin, Charles Martin. I meant Prince Charles. Charles putting mitts together on him. Boom, boom, boom. I can't remember if that was round 10 or not, but Charles Martin started to fight back. And he looked wrong. Big Baby looked wrong. So you want this Deontay Wilder smoke, man? Go for it, bro. Go for it. I like that fight, but let me explain something to you, bro. Everything that I just said about him, I'm not lying. Go research it. That's why if you read the article, I will put it in the link in the description. They talk about that. The first paragraph, if, and they're talking about what, they're worried about if his out of the ring antics would affect his in the ring performance. And that crying in front of Roy Jones, that just rubbed me the wrong way. I say, what's wrong with this kid? Oh, after a win, he's crying on his mother's bosom with his security dog? Do y'all trust this kid? It's all fun and games when he's throwing punches and landing them, but what happens when he gets hit back? I saw that when Charles Martin started to hit him back, he looked concerned. I was like, ooh, wow. What I wanted him to do, a good fight that I'd love to see him take, was him versus Daniel Dubois. I think Daniel Dubois gets him. The man has had some struggles in his career. I picked him to come out the UK. He looked pretty dangerous, and I don't know what happened with him and Joe Joyce, but he came back. Then he ran into some trouble with Usyk. He came back. Everyone picked Jarrell Miller to beat him. He stopped Jarrell Miller. He not only beat him, but he stopped him. Quality win. And I know that Jarrell didn't do anything career-wise, but the reason why I'm calling it a big win is because that was a make-or-break fight for Dubois. So that's why I'm calling it a big win for him. So that's one big baby. If he can get Jared Anderson, that's two big babies. But if you think Deontay's easy work, man, go right ahead, man. Good luck with that. Ain't gonna work out for you. But I would prefer to have fought, for him to have fought Daniel Dubois, because Daniel Dubois is coming off of a what? Win. He's coming off of a win. The two men that lost are going to fight each other. Big Bang Zhang, Deontay Wilder. They're coming off of L's. Get it on. Let's see what happens. Y'all know I'm riding with Bomb Squad all day, every day. But Daniel Dubois coming off of a win. Big baby. So that's one big baby down. There's another one on the horizon. Why is Jared Anderson gunning at Deontay Wilder? Why not gun at the dude coming off of a win, an outstanding win, a knockout win? That's the fight right there. But yo, listen, if you want that Deontay Wilder smoke, go right ahead. But you know what? You see this right here? You see what Charles Martin did to him? Telling you right now, D ain't finna play with this kid. He ain't finna play with this kid. But it's just as well because Daniel Dubois ain't finna play with him either. What I'm saying to you guys is I don't trust Jared Anderson. I don't. I'm not putting any stock in him. I was just watching him. I was just watching and listening and watching. And I've come to the realization that I don't trust this kid. I don't. I do not trust this kid. Not to be an American champion. Not to be an undisputed or unified champion. Not when the man was told he wants to get out the game before 30. But let me be clear, though. If you can get about a good $10 million nest egg and want to get out with all your marbles, I'm not mad at that. But I'm a supporter of the sport. I want guys that are in it for the long haul because I want to be entertained. Get your money. That's cool. If you want to use the business to your advantage, that's cool. Get your bread and get out the game. I ain't mad at that. I'm just saying I don't trust you. I already know what you're about. What you want to do, fight Daniel Dubois and risk taking the L, because I think Daniel Dubois beats him, or get a bigger paycheck on a pay-per-view fighting Deontay Wilder? I already see what you're doing. But the thing is this here, big baby. When cats lose to Deontay, they ain't the same. Even when they win, they're not the same, bro. I'm telling you. They're not the same. So hit up Roy Jones, get some counsel with your mom and your security dog, and good luck to you. I like the fight. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Bronx on deck.
Move!